Gather around as we embark on a journey to explore why intellectual pleasure is, in fact, the greatest form of pleasure. Let's start with a little experiment. Imagine you're at a party, and someone walks up to you and says, "Hey, I just solved a really tough Sudoku puzzle." Now, if your first thought is, "Wow, this person must be a genius," then, congratulations, you're already halfway to intellectual bliss. But for the rest of you thinking, why is this person wasting my time with their Sudoku adventures? Don't worry, you're about to be enlightened. Intellectual pleasure is like a slow-cooked meal. It takes time to develop, but once it's ready, it's oh so satisfying. Think about the moment you finally understand a complex concept that has been eluding you for days. It's that feeling when you finally understand something mind-bending, like why pineapples don't belong on pizza. It's like solving a really tricky puzzle and doing a victory dance that makes even your pet goldfish impressed. It's like finding a hidden chest in a video game, but instead of extra points, you get an ego boost. Plus, you get to look smug at parties, dropping words like epistemology and watching people nod in confusion. Now, let's compare this to other forms of pleasure. Physical pleasure, like eating your favorite food, is fantastic. But it's also fleeting. You eat the cookie, it's gone, and you're left with crumbs and maybe a bit of guilt if you're on a diet. Intellectual pleasure has zero guilt. In fact, it's good for you. It's like doing push-ups for your brain, making it stronger and sharper with every thought-provoking session. Intellectual pleasure, however, sticks with you. It's like learning how to ride a bike. Once you get it, it's yours forever. Then there's the pleasure of making money. Sure, it's great to see your bank account grow. But have you ever tried explaining the Fibonacci sequence to someone and seeing their eyes light up in understanding? Pure gold, my friends, it's the kind of wealth that can't be taxed. Intellectual pleasure has the special power to make ordinary tasks exciting. For example, reading a book on quantum physics might sound like a snooze fest to some, but to an intellectual, it's like a roller coaster ride. And let's not forget the ultimate intellectual thrill, catching a reference in literature or media that no one else understands. That's the kind of stuff that makes you feel like a superhero. Intellectual pleasure is cheap and easy to maintain. You can embark on a journey of learning without spending a fortune. Take advantage of free educational content on platforms like YouTube. Websites like OpenStax, Mint OpenCourseWare, and Project Gutenberg offer free textbooks, lectures, and other educational materials. Maintaining intellectual pleasure is often easier compared to other forms of pleasure for several reasons. Firstly, intellectual pleasure primarily requires mental engagement rather than physical resources or external stimuli, unlike hobbies or activities that may require specific equipment or ongoing financial investment. Intellectual pursuits like reading, learning new subjects, or engaging in stimulating discussions can be done with minimal external dependencies. It emphasizes the enduring value and lower maintenance costs associated with intellectual pursuits compared to material possessions. Secondly, intellectual pleasure tends to be self-sustaining. Once you develop a habit of intellectual curiosity and engage in activities that stimulate your mind, the enjoyment and fulfillment derived from such pursuits can become intrinsic motivators. Unlike material pleasures that may diminish over time, intellectual satisfaction often deepens with continued exploration and learning. Lastly, intellectual pleasure offers long-term benefits beyond immediate gratification. Engaging in intellectual activities can improve cognitive function, enhance critical thinking skills, and broaden perspectives, contributing to personal growth and development over time. So, next time you're tempted by the allure of simpler pleasures, remember that the intellectual pursuit is like a fine wine. It gets better with age, and you can enjoy it for a lifetime. Plus, when the zombie apocalypse inevitably comes, knowing how to read and think critically might just save your life. or at least help you win arguments about the best survival strategies. In conclusion, intellectual pleasure is the greatest form of pleasure because it's enduring, enriching, and ultimately makes you the most interesting person at any gathering. So go forth, embrace your inner nerd, and savor the sweet, sweet joy of intellectual discovery.